This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Monday, June 6th, 2016, D-Day. Also, my daughter Katie's birthday. Happy birthday, Katie. And the title of this rant will be A Pause That Distresses, coming from the article in the New York Times by Dr. Paul Krugman. Now, a pause is a wait, is a reflection, is a small time frame where we look back. That distresses. It's not crisis mode, but it's, hey, there's a little something going on. And what Dr. Krugman is talking about is that there were only 38,000 new jobs that were created in the United States by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which came out last Friday. Yes, there is a need to take a pause and to take a look and to see where this is going. Now, we've had ups and downs in the economic area since the 1800s. What was the one in 1873? I can't remember. The dollar and the gold, et cetera, et cetera. And we had a couple downturns, one in 74 and 75, then one in 81 and 82. Both of them came back quite a bit, and one reason why they came back quite a bit is because the Federal Reserve at that particular time slashed interest rates. Now, you can't say that the Federal Reserve can do that now because interest rates are about next to zero. Now, before we get to that, let's just remember from about January of 2013 up until now, this economy had been generating approximately 200,000 jobs per month. Is it as much as we want? No. Do we need to do better? Yes. Is the average pay rate for the average working person going up? No. Do we need to do a lot of things? Yes. But just in terms of the job numbers, there are more jobs than there were before. And even if you take out the last 6, 8, 10 months of the Bush administration, with still about 6 or 8 months left in the Obama administration, that the number of jobs that Obama has created in the private sector has far surpassed what Bush did in his whole 8 years as president. Even when you take out, remember we were hemorrhaging 800,000 jobs a month from September through January with Bush, and it was going down starting, I believe, in about May of 2008. So, what are people saying? Well, we know specifically our friends, our sisters and brothers on the Republican side are basically blaming all of the same things. It's Obamacare because it's a job killer, even though we've had a tremendous increase in jobs. It's the Obamacare, which is the Affordable Care Act. Be careful. We're going to have a tremendous increase in inflation. Interest rates are going to skyrocket because of all of this stuff. And of course, none of this has ever happened because they've been predicting all of this stuff since about 2008, and none of it has ever happened. But so what are some of the true culprits? Well, possibly the true culprit is that the dollar is a lot stronger right now. And that means that the stronger the dollar is, the less competitive U.S. goods are in the marketplace here domestically against foreign imports and abroad. And of course, the Fed really can't do much about that right now because interest rates are next to zero. So they can't, maybe they could go a little bit negative. I think interest rates went negative in Europe somewhere. But they can't influence it like they did in previous times where they could slash interest rates. So what can actually be done? Well, if we look forward, let's just say to the new Clinton administration, because let's agree, nothing is going to happen between now and January in the House and the Senate to do anything about it. The best thing that could possibly be done would be some type of stimulus. Two stimuluses that Dr. Krugman points out, I agree with very much, is one, a stimulus for infrastructure spending, and two, a stimulus in terms of decreasing the tax rates for middle and lower income people, because that money will be spent in the marketplace like that immediately. And with why would we want to have a stimulus now for infrastructure spending? Well, guess what? Interest rates are next to zero. The federal government can borrow a tremendous amount of money and put that money to work right away. And we know that we will get dividends from that work because more people will be employed, more people will be spending money, more people will be spending taxes. It'll have that snowball effect of bringing out even new businesses. And because we can borrow in interest rates. But let's be clear, it's not going to happen before January. And even if Hillary does win and and the Democrats take back the Senate, there is still a very strong likelihood that they will not take back the House. Now, a lot more House seats are in play right now that Donald Trump has been around, and that not only will Mitch McConnell has said that he will not go after any people running for Senate if they do not coalesce around Trump, because a lot of them, especially about 4 or 5 or 6 of them, who are current senators running in states that Obama won and are already behind, they may not be able to do anything. They need to run from Trump. But it could easily turn the Senate. It may not turn the House, possibly turn the House. We'll see what happens. But if Paul Ryan is the Speaker of the House come January, that infrastructure spending ain't going to happen in any way, shape, or form. Because remember, the Republicans, not a single one of them voted for the stimulus in 2009. And of course, that was when Obama was at, let's just say, the height of his power. And considering the elections in 2010 and 2014, most of those Republicans did not pay a heavy price for that. So you can expect gridlock to happen if the Republicans maintain the House. So, and remember, the Republicans, they won't do anything at all to help Hillary. So expect gridlock to happen. And this 38,000 increase in the jobs numbers, if it stays like that, will become a big issue in the election. And of course, with Trump just spouting about how many jobs he's going to create, that we're going to get bored with how many jobs he's going to create, with absolutely no set policy, no concept of how we can actually achieve those types of goals. So this pause that distresses is something that we really need to look about. The Democrats really need to start planning their strategy for this fall campaign if those job numbers don't increase and it becomes a huge election issue.